Finally, we come to the last episode in our series of comparisons between the OG Silent Hill 2 and the remake. It's not often I do these deep dives into video games like this. Usually it's just a one-off review and then I move on. Very rarely have I ever spoken at length about a game after its release, and honestly, Clear Obscure Expedition 33 is the only one I've done that for with a 2-hour length discussion of the main themes of the game because it just hit me that hard. I started doing that with Silent Hill 2 Remake last year, but got sidetracked and never did finish that series until now. I loved the remake, and I've always had a soft spot for the first 3 Silent Hill games, even if I never did play anything beyond those due to various reasons, though I understand I haven't been missing much except for maybe Silent Hill 4. Silent Hill 2 is such a high bar for the series, and after playing through the remake, I was so glad for what Bluebird did in recreating this story and elevating the performances to really give, in my opinion, a much richer experience that helps it hit just the way it needed to. And now, after having yapped about it for 11 videos covering pre- and post-release, we finally end with Laura. I've been critical of the original cast, not because I think they were irredeemably bad, but just amateurish, given their credentials at the time. That said, I've given effusive praise to Monica Horgan's portrayal of Maria/Mary as one of the best performances of the original cast. Laura, played by Jacqueline Breckenridge, I think did an incredible job. Like Laura, Jacqueline was only 8 years old. I think we're all aware that there are a lot of really bad child actors, and I think originally I hated Laura's performance. However, as I've been going through this series, I've found a deeper appreciation for the original cast, even if I didn't fully enjoy their performances. Laura, I've grown to appreciate far more than I thought. I'd say between her and Monica, she's the second best performed character. Breckenridge really does bring out that sort of bratty attitude that you would expect a kid like Laura to have. In the remake, she's played by Evie Templeton, who, depending on when the recording started, was likely around 12. A little older than the original actress, but she did an incredible job. Apparently she's in the new season of Wednesday, which I haven't ever watched, nor do I have any interest in it, but I think she's gotten some more recognition for that. Either way, they did a great job taking her and aging her down to look like Laura's age, and I think they did good. Laura's a cute kid, even if her attitude and actions made me want to choke slam her through a wall the first time I played through it. All that said, it's become increasingly difficult for me to find a scene where one actress is just leaps and bounds better than the other. Now, as has been the case for most of the new cast, I tend to prefer the newer cast in almost every case, but if you watched my video on Maria/Mary, you'll know that there were a few scenes that I think Horgan was better. This one is more of a tie in most cases. I like Evie's performance because I think her tone and facial expressions are so good, but Jacqueline has an actual childlike quality to her voice that is irreplaceable. I'm going to skip the first scene since it's literally just Laura kicking a key away from James and stepping on his hand. She's a turd. Their first real scene together is after the events of the apartments after James defeats Pyramid Head.
You! It was you, wasn't it? You're the one who stepped on my hand.
I don't know. Maybe I did.
What's a little girl like you doing here, anyway?
Huh? Are you blind or something?
What's that letter?
None of your business. You didn't love Mary anyway.
Wait! How do you know Mary's name?
Hey, it was you, wasn't it? You're the one who stepped on my hand.
Maybe I did.
What's a little girl like you doing here anyway?
I don't know. What's a big dum-dum like you doing here anyway?
Hey, that's not very nice. Didn't your parents teach you any manners? What you got there?
None of your business. You didn't love Mary anyway.
What? Hey, wait! How do you know her name?
In both scenes, you can really see just how much Laura doesn't like James, though he obviously doesn't understand why. And one of the changes here, other than the tone of voice, is the dialogue itself. Well, that and OG Laura's goofy, shocked facial expression. Whenever I see it, I think of that one guy from the Italian Spider-Man video. Anyway, the big change is that in the original, when asked about why she's in a place like Silent Hill, she responds with, "Are you blind or something?" This is the first hint that the people in Silent Hill aren't always seeing things the same way. It's a subtle clue, but it obviously makes sense later on. In Remake, Laura responds by insulting James. It's up to you whether or not you think that clue needed to be kept or not. There's another similar line later on in the hospital, so either way, there is an indication by Laura that she's not seeing things the same way. So for me, as long as that clue is dropped by Laura at some point, it doesn't really matter. Had it been eliminated altogether, then I would have had more reason to complain. Either way, when she's reprimanded for her bad manners, directly asked if her parents taught her any, notice Laura's body language. She's holding Mary's letter, but she tucks her arms in like she's clutching the letter tighter. James's words had an impact on her because, unbeknownst to him, Laura is an orphan. She has no parents, so this line stings, which is why she clutches Mary's letter. A letter from a woman she considered a dear friend who is like a mother to her that is now gone. When asked about the letter, OG Laura tells him it's none of his business, but sounds like a taunt more than anything. In Remake, Laura tells him the same thing, but she sounds upset when she says it. In light of James's comment about her parents, that makes sense. Both versions end Laura's part by having her accuse James of not loving Mary anyways, but again, one sounds like a taunt, and the other sounds like a little girl who is hurting and angry at James. The next time we hear anything from Laura is in the movie theater with Eddie.
So what'd you do? Robbery? Murder?
Nah, nothing like that.
Huh, you're just a gutless fatso.
What'd you have to say that for?
I thought you said the cops were after you.
No, I just ran because I was scared. I don't know what the cops are doing.
But if you did something bad, why don't you just say you were sorry? Well, I guess I run away a lot too.
It's no good. They wouldn't listen. Nobody will ever forgive me.
This is boring.
You didn't seem bored a minute ago. Screamed your head off, didn't you? You should have seen your face.
I told you, it was this big rat. It jumped right at me from under the seat. You would have screamed too if you saw it. Gutless fatso.
Hey, what do you have to say that for?
Anyway, why are you sitting here? I thought you said the cops were after you.
Nah, I don't think they follow me here. Besides, I blocked the door, so no one could get in. Not the cops, and not these other monsters.
You're weird.
Yeah, that's what everyone always says.
Well, I guess people call me weird too. And they yell at me, especially when I do something bad. Did you do something bad? You know, so the cops are angry with you?
I don't know. Maybe.
So why don't you just say you're sorry? It always works for me.
They wouldn't listen. Nobody ever listens.
The dialogue is expanded in Remake and takes place in the movie theater instead of the bowling alley, but the idea is the same. In the original, Laura asks Eddie if he was guilty of murder or robbery, and when he declines, she calls him a gutless fatso. It seems like she says this because he's running away from the cops, but didn't actually do anything exciting enough for her taste. Still, she later admits that she runs away a lot too, which, given what Mary writes to her later about not giving the sisters trouble, clearly referring to nuns working at an orphanage, this makes sense even if it isn't clear yet. In Remake, she and Eddie are watching a scary movie, and when she screams, she excuses it as having been a rat run out from under the seat. Not wanting to be made fun of, she tells Eddie he would have screamed too since he's a gutless fatso. Again, we see Laura lashing out and insulting people, but this is likely a defense mechanism for her, and not because she's actually a mean kid. She's lost people, and so it's easier to keep them at arm's length. And even with this, and even when she calls Eddie weird again, you can easily see that there is part of her that's trying to relate to Eddie and sort of get to know him. For example, after she calls him weird, you can see her try to walk it back a little bit and says that people call her weird too. Deep down, Laura is actually a sweet kid who is hurting from the loss of her parents and her loss of Mary. That's why she came to Silent Hill to begin with. As I mentioned in my video about Angela, even the kids that had horrific traumatic pasts and had done terrible things could still have a sweet disposition, even if it didn't always come out that way. Laura is abrasive, probably because it's easier to avoid attachments to people, especially if they're going to die. Remember, Laura's only 8 years old and has lost 2 literal parents and 1 other parental figure. She's been through a lot. She also tries to ask Eddie why he doesn't just say he's sorry, since that always works for her. This is the counseling attempt of a little girl. And for her, it should just be that easy, since when she says sorry, she's forgiven. As I said, she's a sweet kid who is hurting and needs guidance. And the more I came to realize that by taking a better listen at both Jacqueline's and Evie's performances, the less I disliked her. Then again, there's the hospital scene.
Laura?
Huh? You know my name?
Eddie told me.
That big fat blabbermouth.
How do you know about Mary?
What's the big deal?
Why can't you just tell me?
You gonna yell at me if I don't?
No, I won't.
I was friends with Mary. We met at the hospital. It was last year.
You liar! Laura,
Fine, don't believe me.
But last year, Mary was already... I'm sorry, Laura. Anyway, let's go. We can talk about this later. This is no place for a kid. There are all sorts of strange things around here. I can't believe you haven't even gotten a scratch on you.
Why should I? Wait! There's something I gotta get.
Later, okay?
But it's really important.
What is it?
A letter from Mary.
Huh?
I wanna go get it. Is that okay?
Yes! Yes!
Come on, hurry up.
Is it in there?
Yeah, in the back.
What are you doing, Laura?
It's further back in the desk.
Laura! What are you doing? Open the door, Laura.
Why should I? I'm a liar, right? Want me to open it? Huh? Huh? Do ya? What's the magic word?
Laura?
Okay, I guess I won't open it. I think I'll just leave you like this.
You snotty little brat! Open up!
Why, you...
Laura?
You hurt me!
Laura?
How do you know my name?
Eddie told me.
That big, fat blabbermouth.
Laura, why do you keep running away from me? And how do you know about Mary?
I just do. What's the big deal?
Why can't you just tell me?
You gonna yell at me if I don't?
No. I won't, please, just... I need to know.
Mary's my friend. We met at the hospital last year.
Stop lying! Laura, I'm sorry.
Fine, don't believe me. See if I care.
Hey!
Let go.
I'm sorry, Laura, but I can't let you just run around this place. You might get hurt.
Hurt by what?
Look, just stay with me, okay? This is no place for a kid.
Fine. But there's something I gotta get.
Laura,
It's important.
what is it?
A letter. For Mary.
What?
I hid it. In there.
You sure this is where you left it?
It's in the back. Behind an old pipe.
Okay, wait here. Laura?
Haha!
Open the door, Laura.
Why should I? I'm a liar, right? Want me to open it? Huh? Do ya?
Laura, open this door right now.
What's the magic word?
Laura!
Nope, that's not it. I guess I won't open it.
Get out of here, you brat!
In your dreams, fart face.
Laura, please open the door. There's something in here.
Sure there is. A big lying fart face. See ya, fart face!
Laura! Laura!
James finds Laura after she bolts from either the bowling alley or the theater and confronts her about Mary. She doesn't want to answer his question since she's afraid he'll just end up yelling at her if she doesn't. After being reassured that he won't, Laura answers James's question and is promptly yelled at. James really out here batting 1,000 with his interactions. Again, both actresses do well here, but I think Remake edges out at this part by Evie's version being just a bit more believable of a reaction given what we've seen. She's hurt. She hates James, though James doesn't know why yet at this point in the narrative, and is grieving the loss of her friend Mary. So when James accuses her of being a liar, it pisses her off, and the last thing she wants to do is be around James, and so she runs. Tone matters here too, because in the original, Laura just seems to shrug it off and just seems to go with James when he asks her to. In Remake, James has to chase Laura down and stop her from running away, which again seems more realistic. After James comments on Laura's safety, we have our indication that something is not quite right. In the original, James comments that Laura doesn't even have a scratch on her with all the weird things around. She responds with a sort of incredulous, "Why should I?" A normal question for a girl who isn't seeing the horrors James is. Again, I think she's a bit calm for how she's now acting towards James, but it is what it is. In Remake, after being told she could get hurt, Laura says, "Hurt by what?" Which again implies that she seemingly doesn't notice any real threats to her safety around. In both versions, she leads James to find a letter from Mary she allegedly hid, and shows that, in this case, she's way smarter than James, who just goes along with it without question and ends up getting locked in a room for a boss fight.
Okay, I believe you.
And in both versions, James is terrible at diplomacy and only succeeds in pissing Laura off and making her leave him. Again, both do a great job of mocking James's situation, but I have just grown to love Remake Laura's performance so much more the more I compare the two. She's so good at sounding spiteful, but without that taunting tone. You can just hear her disdain of James dripping from almost every word. OG Laura is great as just a taunting brat, but Remake takes it to another level. There's even a difference when calling James fart face. I can't believe that's a sentence I just said. In the original, Laura seems at a loss for an insult and yells it at him before running away. In Remake, Laura just seems to have that one ready to go. She calls him that 2 more times before running off. Of course, I remember seeing this last angle of hers thrown around the interwebs and people saying, "Laura looks so awful, how could they do this? This game looks like trash." Yeah, it's not a flattering angle since nobody looks good with a camera aimed up their nose, but good lord do people need to get a grip. The penultimate interaction in the hotel when James first arrives and gets jump scared by Laura hitting the keys on the piano is probably my favorite Laura scene in the game. After this, we have James's reunion with Laura at the hotel.
Did I scare you?
Yeah, you did.
You're here to find Mary, aren't you, James? Well, have you?
No. Is that why you're here too?
She's here, isn't she? If you know where she is, tell me. I'm tired of walking.
I wish I knew.
But she said it in her letter.
What letter?
Wanna read it? But don't tell Rachel, okay?
Who's Rachel?
She was our nurse. I took it from her locker.
Laura, how old are you?
I turned 8 last week.
So, Mary couldn't have died 3 years ago. Could she really be here? Is this the quiet, beautiful place she was talking about?
Me and Mary talked a lot about Silent Hill. She even showed me all her pictures. She really wanted to come back. That's why I'm here. Maybe you'll get it if you see the other letter. The one, Mary. Huh? I must have dropped it.
Laura!
I gotta find it.
Laura!
Did I scare you?
Yeah, you did. I guess I deserved it, huh? The fart face that I am.
Maybe. Then again, maybe you're not so bad. Just annoying.
Uh-huh. So, you got any other things planned? I think I saw a dark room back there you could lock me up in.
No. I think you've had enough. For now.
Well, that's reassuring.
Besides, I need your help finding Mary. She's here. Isn't she? Come on, tell me.
I wish I knew.
But she said it in her letter.
Wait. So there really is a letter?
Oh. Yeah. Want to read it? Just don't tell Rachel, okay?
Who's Rachel?
She's our nurse. I, took it from her locker.
My dearest Laura, I'm leaving this letter with Rachel to give to you after I'm gone. I'm far away now, in a quiet, beautiful place. Please forgive me for not saying goodbye before I left. Be well, Laura. Don't be too hard on the sisters. And Laura, about James. I know you hate him because you think he isn't nice to me, but please, give him a chance. It's true, he can be a little surly sometimes, and he doesn't laugh much. But underneath, he's a really sweet person. I love you, Laura. I love you like my very own daughter. I wish things were different. I wish we could be happy together, like we talked about. Even so, I know you will have a good life. You're a strong, smart, beautiful girl. Happy 8th birthday, Laura. Your friend, Mary.
Laura. How old are you?
I turned 8 last week.
That means Mary couldn't have died 3 years ago. Could she really be here? Is this the quiet, beautiful place she was talking about?
Me and Mary talked a lot about Silent Hill. She even showed me all her pictures. She really wanted to come back. She also talked a lot about you, you know? She even...
What? What is it?
Well, there kind of was this other letter. I think the one was for you. The envelope had your name on it.
Did you read it?
I wanted to. This one time, I almost did. Figured you didn't deserve to have it. But then I thought, Mary wouldn't want me to keep it from you. So I just sort of kept it for you. Here.
It's empty. Laura, there's nothing in it.
What? But I didn't take it. I swear.
Well, where is it then?
I must have lost it. I gotta find it.
Laura!
In both versions, Laura asks if James knows where Mary is, and if he knows, to tell her. Dialogue is a little different since the scene is expanded a bit. James has a self-deprecating line calling himself fart face and jokingly asks if Laura has anything else planned, like locking him up in another dark room. Laura seems amused at the idea, but says she thinks he's had enough for now, citing the need for him to help her find Mary. After all, Mary is supposedly here at the hotel, like she said in her letter. I love this exchange here. James isn't berating Laura, but through his sarcasm is letting her know that she was a jerk for locking him in a room, yet, by calling himself fart face, seems to imply that he realizes he had in fact acted like a fart face towards her at the hospital when he called her a liar. Laura doesn't apologize for what she did, but she acknowledges that it was time to stop being mean to him. Her reasons aren't just that she wants to find Mary, but because of how Mary felt about James. After giving James the letter she took from the nurse's locker, and after the narration, Laura talks about the time she spent with Mary and how Mary talked a lot about Silent Hill and James. From the letter, it's obvious that Laura didn't like James because of how Mary was feeling and even how she probably talked about James. I don't think Mary vented to Laura about their marital troubles, but I'm sure Laura could see that her friend was hurting and was sick, and because James hadn't come to visit as much or hadn't taken her back to Silent Hill yet as promised, that made Laura assume James was just a mean man. Again, this is all from the perspective of a girl who was 7 at the time. Mary obviously understood this and encouraged Laura not to hate James. It's also implied that even if they hadn't met directly, Laura had probably seen James and Mary interact before, which is not only why she recognized him, but also why Mary talks about James's gruff exterior not being representative of who he was at heart. The irony being that, just like James, Laura had been acting mean towards James even though, at heart, she's actually a sweet girl. Even Mary describes her as such. This is the first scene between the two of them where we really start to see that. Laura has come to the hotel looking for Mary and has probably been reading and rereading that letter. Mary's words have made her realize that she hasn't been treating James the way Mary would have wanted her to, and that's really why she's taken such a change in tone towards James. She realizes he's looking for Mary and loves her too, even if she may not see it. So, in order to prove her good intentions and her desire to honor her friend, Laura decides to give James Mary's letter, unwittingly handing him an empty envelope. Also, confirming her age also tells us that the events with Mary's death happened very recently, not the 3 years ago like James had convinced himself of. The tan line on his ring finger is also proof of this. In the original, she's lost the letter altogether, including the envelope. It's unclear to me whether or not she actually lost the letter or if this is the town pulling shenanigans and making it disappear. It doesn't seem like the thing Laura would just misplace so casually. That's something she would have protected at all cost. Accidents happen though, so who knows. Whatever the case, Laura runs off in a panic to find the missing letter. As I've said many times before, Evie and Jacqueline both did a great job here, and it's going to come down to preference. OG Laura still sounds just like a little kid because the original actress was actually 8 years old at the time, and that childlike tone in her voice works really well here. Evie also sounds like a kid, though not quite as young, but her tone is less childish, if that makes sense. She sounds more serious and determined. I don't know if I'm describing that right, but if you listen carefully to both versions, I think you'll know what I mean. I also think the added lines and the extended exchange between her and James really helped to bring out Laura's sweet side. Sure, she had been a jerk to James, but even she realizes enough is enough and that she's been unfair to James. I think OG Laura is convincing enough when she talks about Mary being her friend, but remake Laura has that element of sadness to her performance that I think sells the idea that Laura is obviously hurting and that this has taken its toll on her. Once more, this is basically a coin toss, but I just love Evie's more emotional read since I think it adds more weight to the scene. But by no means do I think Jacqueline did badly. For a little girl who was kept in the dark about how dark the game was, she did an incredible job, and I've really grown to appreciate how she played the role more than I thought I would. Also, Laura skipping away after handing James the first letter to go draw on the window is a nice little touch that shows Laura's playful side as well. That could also be because my little girl loves to skip around a lot too, and it's just adorable. The final voiced scene between the two characters is in the hotel room where James watches the VHS tape.
So there you are, James. Did you get the letter? Did you find Mary? If not, let's get going already, okay?
Laura. Mary's gone. She's dead.
Liar, that's a lie!
No, that's not true.
She died because she was sick?
No, I killed her.
You killer! Why'd you do it? I hate you! I want her back! Give her back to me! I knew it! You didn't care about her! I hate you, James! I hate you! I hate you! I hate you! She was always waiting for you. Why? Why?
I'm sorry. The Mary you know isn't here.
Hey, there you are. Do you know where Mary is? Come on, talk to me.
Mary's gone. She's dead.
Liar. That's a lie.
No. It's the truth.
She died because she was sick?
I killed her.
Killer! Why'd you do it? I hate you! I want her back. Give her back to me. I knew it. You didn't care about her. I hate you, James! I hate you! I hate you! I hate you! She was always waiting for you. Why? Why?
I'm sorry. Mary you know isn't here.
Laura is obviously optimistic and hopeful about finding out where Mary is so she can see her friend again. James, however, has to give her the crushing news about why Mary isn't there and never will be. Both versions of Laura ask if Mary is dead because of her sickness, with Remake Laura initially calling James a liar, a reversal of what happened in the hospital. Both versions get a little dicey with the line where Laura calls James a killer. Something about that line read in either version sounds off, but when she tells James she hates him, I think both sound believable again. The problem in Remake, though, is Laura's facial expression doesn't quite look right when she calls James a killer. It just doesn't quite fit the anger she's expressing, and so that shot just looks wrong. It's the same thing that happened with Maria when she yells "anyway" at James. The vocal performance is fine, but the facial expression detracts from what is actually being said. It just doesn't match the way it needs to. Still, it's really just this line from Laura that feels off in either version, but the better facial capture software ends up actually hurting her performance. Other than that, the best part of the scene is when Laura begins hitting James repeatedly and he just takes it. I may be projecting, but in Remake, you can see the look on her face when he doesn't react. It's like she wanted him to yell at her and be mean to her to justify her belief that he's just a nasty person, but I think when she sees that he's clearly in shock and he's also deeply upset, she's a little taken aback. How could the man who killed his wife and her friend just sit there and take this and not yell back at her? Again, maybe I'm reading too much into it. She then asks how he could do such a thing, and he just tells her the Mary she's looking for isn't here. Both versions of Laura run away from James, but in Remake, as Laura runs away, you can hear a squeak in her voice that is clearly the beginning of her sobbing over Mary's death. Just that little sound in her performance is heartbreaking and is such a nice touch, which sounds really mean to say given the scenario, but that little touch, I think, makes up for the weird facial capture earlier and helps elevate the scene ever so slightly. Do I think it's better than the original? Again, I love Evie as Laura so much in this game, so of course I'm going to prefer this one. Maybe it's also because she reminds me a little of my own daughter that I can relate to her. Actually, my daughter, who's 5, has shown traits of Laura in both versions as far as how she talks about things, so that's probably why it's hard for me to pick. Which version is better? Yes. The Leave ending shows a scene where James meets Laura again outside the wall where they first met. Laura looks utterly heartbroken to see him, but rather than running away, she stays as James hands her Mary's letter to read. The letter is narrated, and at the end, we see James and Laura leaving together. Is he taking her back to the orphanage, or is he going to adopt her in accordance with Mary's wishes? We don't know. I like to think that even if she doesn't understand why things happen, the two eventually go on to live meaningful lives and Laura turns out well. Hopefully with time she'll eventually learn that the situation was a lot more complicated and James's actions weren't out of pure malice, but a combination of complex emotions brought about by a long period of difficulty and pain and frustration that led him to committing an act he immediately regretted and wished he could take back. Again, that's up to the player to speculate on. And with that, we come to the end of the series. At first, Laura makes you want to put her through a wall, but by the end you see that she's more than that. She's a little girl who is hurting over the loss of Mary and desperately wants to find her friend. She, like James, is actually very kind underneath, but has a rough personality at times. The actresses for Laura both do incredibly well, and I think deserve proper recognition, and Evie really helped elevate Laura's character to be even more sympathetic. All in all, I think Remake handled Laura very well, as they had the rest of the characters, and I couldn't be more pleased. And so, I end on that note, and thank you for watching along. Unless something comes up, I don't think I'll be doing any more videos on Silent Hill 2 since I've pretty much said everything I've ever wanted to say on it. Not sure when the next video will be out, but I'll have something at some point. Until then, take care, and I'll talk to you again soon.